Ladies and gentlemen, the Madness Entertainment Group presents Put the Comic Artist Hour with Les Garner.
There you have it. Welcome everybody to yet another Comic Artist Hour with our boy Les Garner. What's up, dude?
Let's see here now. I'm gonna start doodling, and we're gonna see where it leads. So I'm kind of feeling fantasy today. I like doing some classic sort of fantasy chicks.
Yes.
Because why not?
I'm a big screen here for that. I'll be here. I'm here, but they can look at you. They can look at what you're doing. They don't need to see.
So I'm gonna, and let's see. I may end up doing one of Tila, because I haven't touched this. I'd started doing a series of paintings some years ago that were Masters of the Universe, and I only got a couple of them done. And now, why is my sensitivity all jacked?
You already got Reggie Hicks in there saying, "Hey, Les,
Reggie's my bro. Love Reggie." Let's see. Okay, now we have sensitivity. Cool. So I'm gonna start roughing in ye old circle, and then we're gonna get ourselves a little center line, and then I'm gonna come off the sides of that and build out a nice little jawline. Okay, and then let's go here and here. Let's see here now. I might want to throw this off just a little bit. Let's go a nice big eraser here. Knock that stuff back. And then, yeah, I don't like where I was set up there. Come over here and kind of mark out our proportions. Then there's that little thing I do all the time. Just boom, boom, 3 and around. There's a funny thing about this shape that, okay, if you take it and go boom, boom, 3, 4, 5, right? Well, there you've got a profile started. Or if you take it and go flip this one this way, boom, like, let's see, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, and then we mirror that 3, 4, 5, you see you've got kind of the center started. It's just this. It's a trick I picked up. Literally picked up this trick from Joe Quesada in 1993. Hanging out with him at a signing he was doing in a comic shop. And it was just something that I saw him do this as he was doing some sketches for folks. And I took note of it. And then I asked him about it. And he explained some things about it to me, and it was really cool. So there's that. So anyway, come in here, drop some stuff in here. Let's get this nose area here kind of worked out. So if you take that, your line where you're measuring off where the nose would be between the mouth and the eye lines, then here's a neat little trick, is coming down the center, put a triangle there and a triangle underneath. It's like a sideways diamond shape, and that's going to give you a set of, basically a set of guides. Like if we, let's see here now. Like if I come in here and get up real close on that, and knock it back a little bit so you can see a little more clearly. So you do triangle across the top, triangle across the bottom, and then if you follow those right there, you start getting these pieces that will help build your nose out really well. And one of the big keys, I think, to drawing fast is getting this stuff down to where you don't have to think about it. Like you don't even have to draw it so much. You can start to visualize it as you're drawing. So that's just a bit of a thing. Good thing to touch on there. So I'm going to zoom back out here. And then let's get that line I talk about all the time, the S line. That's going to give us her spine. And then let's follow that S line with a nice curve for the neck right there. There's another one right there. And then I'm going to come in here with my angle line for the shoulders, and then angle line for the hips. And from there, I'm going to think about that tube right there that makes up the neck, and then use that as kind of a way of considering where the middle of the neck is, the center. And that's going to give me the pit of her throat. And that pit of the throat is important to get a hold of, because once you've got that, once you've got the throat pit worked out, like where that's going to fall, then from there you can start to toss out these guidelines that will help you work out where everything else is going to be. So, and if we were to think about this in terms of a big box right here, you'd have something like that. And then we come from there, we can kind of see where we're headed. So you can put another big box right here, and you start to see the forms building up. So now, I don't always do that, but let's see. Boom, 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 boom. And it's useful to toss these arcing lines across there sometimes to help you think about the contours. So come in there. Let's see here now. We want to come right to here. And stick into that S line right there. So there we have all of that. That's good stuff. We'll give her a little more hip. A little bit more hip than that. So let's drop some guides in there where the legs are going to connect. Then something I find myself starting to do more and more is, instead of doing a straight line for my underdrawing, building up the limbs, is at least on the legs, I find myself doing S curves. Let me just undo those, because the S curve really lends itself I think, towards a more dynamic pose, and really gives you a lot more to think about when you're working with the anatomy. And it gives you more, even though the curvature of it is going to help you get more contrasting curves, and that's going to build up movement. Makes it feel a little less static. So then, there we go. And don't be afraid to scribble. I scribble a ton when I'm getting a drawing off the ground. Okay. Here we go. Something I keep in mind is that the front of the front of the shin has kind of a tapering sort of feel to it, and a lot of times as I'm building up the underdrawing, I'll go ahead and start drawing with that taper in mind. So, and a place where you can see this sort of gestural sort of line really exaggerated in art is in fashion art. Fashion designers really hyper exaggerate that kind of line, and that kind of leads you towards the fact that if you're pulling those kind of contours out, it's going to help make your stuff be a little more effeminate, a little sexier. Right. 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 Nice. And then making sure that the lower leg here, where the bulk of her weight is carried, is really locked out. It's almost like she's got her knee locked, is a nice way to keep that weight distributed. So let's start looking up in here at building up that rib cage. I feel like I'm being even more scribbly than normal. I'm just kind of talking through it a lot more. All right, and then here's a good little place to throw give myself a little notice that I'm going to do a bit of some counter lines here that help bring out those hips. Pardon me. So, and here's another one of those S-curves. S-curves happen all the time, and they're so useful to keep in mind, watch out for. Let's see here now. Got arms, boom. And there's a good little place to throw almost an S-curve into the arm, that little, like that. Boom. Okay. Let's see. Give it.
Yeah, Stacy in the chat wants to know. She wants to know, what did you like drawing when you were a child?
Oh, comics, and more comics. Anything you could find in a comic book. I probably was sitting around drawing it. Comics and Star Wars stuff. I drew. One of the things I did starting out as a little kid, I mean, a little kid, we're talking like 4, was I had a movie book from when Star Wars came out. And I was in, I grew up in, kind of in the bowels of Appalachia, which probably everybody knows at this point if they ever watch a show. And I loved Star Wars. Still love Star Wars in spite of what the damn mouse has done to it. And I would take this movie book, right? And since didn't have money to buy like art supplies and stuff like that very often, life got a little better after a few years when I was about 10. But when I was real little, we didn't have money for me to have that kind of stuff. That was a luxury. And I would sneak into my grandma's kitchen and steal a big strip of her wax paper she used for baking. And then I would take any kind of sharp object I could find, whether it was, oftentimes it'd be a nail or just any sharp object I could find. And I would lay in the floor, taking that wax paper and placing it over the photos in the Star Wars movie book, and sharp objects would scratch a white line in that wax paper, and I could see through it just enough that I could trace from the photos in that. And I was probably 4, and I used to trace those photos all day long. That was like, I don't know, something about it. And I later was sharing that story with a friend of mine who teaches art, and he said that that thing that I did kind of set me up to have a better fundamental understanding of a lot of stuff, because I had spent so much time just basically studying as a kid because I was tracing that stuff. So that's really what I spent a lot of my time doing. And I would do it with that Star Wars movie book. I would do it with stuff out of an encyclopedia that my dad had. I'd do it with I'd take comic books, old comic books that I found in the barn, and I would lay around on the floor just tracing that stuff. So that's kind of where that all came from. And that's what I was drawing as a kid. So, and I would draw mostly, as I got older, it became a thing where people would ask me to draw things. So I was always drawing something somebody asked me to do. And it became a thing that was very useful for me, because, it provided a value to people, and that was nice. It was very useful. Let's see. Hopefully that answers your question. I appreciate it. Give me something to ramble about for a minute while I'm doodling this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time, that shape right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That shape is like magic for drawing hands. Let's see. Mm-hmm. All right. Another S line, and around, and around. Okay. Come back in here. Little tummy action going on here. Kind of build some of that out. I need to pop over somewhere and look up some reference for Evil Lynn. Let's see. All right, I just need a reminder of her, her outfit and everything. Let's see here. What's she got going on? All right. I'm going to pop my phone out and I'm going to get my reference up on there. Let's see here now.
Going to serve some tennis. Who's she going to hit the ball to?
That's funny. Let's see. Where's, ding dang darn it. I hate using the phone because big fingers. Let's see here now. Doodly doo 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 doo. All right. Looking up my reference.
Stacy said, who should be the next Magneto? I don't like any actors enough.
I
those anymore.
My hot take on who should be the next Magneto, in my opinion, God, I'm trying to think, who would I want to be Magneto? Because I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto. He was so good. I know who I want to be Professor X. And normally I'm not a big fan of like race swapping characters from their source material, but with Professor X, Giancarlo Esposito could nail that and would bring something to that role that I think would be really cool. He is the guy who played
yeah, I know who he is.
yeah, Los Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad. I love Giancarlo Esposito. I don't really know who I would. Like I said, I've loved Michael Fassbender as Magneto so much that it's like, and I think he was just so perfect. It's really hard for me to picture somebody else. Let's see here now. Somebody give me some suggestions. Who y'all think?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm so let down by most of Hollywood that.
Yeah, I mean most of Hollywood is.
Most
of Hollywood is quite trash, but.
I mean, I don't pay attention to most of it because of that. So it's hard for me to go, oh, that guy would be good in that part because I ain't paying attention to that guy. Acting has gotten away from what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be the right person for the part, not the most popular person.
Yeah, that is very true.
They used to pick somebody that actually do the job. Now it's like they pick people on the popularity scale.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's always been some of that because when you're producing something like a movie, you're always going to be thinking some degree about just how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're always on some degree going to be thinking about, how are you going to make the money back on it?
Right. Okay. And there's going to be 4 or 5 people that could do the part and do it justice, right? And then you're going to go to the casting and you're going to find out, how well can dude play the part.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're always picking the guy who played the part best in the audition. Because if
That
that's
is
the
true.
best they've got, dude, look, you're losing money on the other end because the movie sucks. Don't put somebody in there because he's popular. Put somebody in there because he can actually do the role.
Yeah, and I can agree with that because and I think that people, you put somebody in who can actually do the role whether they're popular or not, and they're probably going to end up getting popular because they did the role well.
And the longevity is going to keep you making money. You're going to sell DVDs. You're going to sell rentals. You know what I mean? It's like because it was good. If it ain't no good, it ain't going to be on the streaming service for $2.99. It's going to be free on Tubi. You know?
Maybe.
And star power is only a big selling point if the star can do the part.
I see some good stuff turn up on Tubi. I ain't going to diss on Tubi, man. Of course, you know, I'm an artist, so I ain't exactly rich. So, you know, sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go watch stuff over here because, you know, I is Poe, and I'm gonna watch some Pofo TV.
Well, if you could deal with that 6 minutes, then you watch Tubi, right?
Yeah, that's on the off chance, the off night that I get a chance to chill out enough to watch TV, which doesn't happen very often.
I rarely get to watch a full episode of anything in one go.
Yeah.
Rarely. Anything. A movie, anything. The only time I get to watch a movie all the way through is occasionally when we're doing our watch-alongs and I don't have to work on something. If I'm working, I miss half those movies too, and I'm in the damn chat watching it, right? Or I mean, I'm in the stream watching it and still miss half of it. I work.
I try to make sure that I get out and away from things every once in a while so I can go to a movie.
All right, so Daisy threw some suggestions. Nicolas Cage as Magneto.
Nah.
Steve Buscemi. I'm going to again say no.
Nah. Cool dude, but nah.
I don't even think David Morse has that in it.
Lord.
But one thing you got to decide which. Is it young Professor X? Is it old Professor X?
Yeah, the age of the characters actually matters greatly when it comes to that.
Yeah,
that's another one. They did a really good job casting young Professor X with what's his name? Oh crap! I love the guy, and he was in
Days of Future
Split.
Past.
He was in the movie Split. That was one of the Unbreakable series, and he was really good. Can never remember his name though. To me, that's almost a sign of a really good actor is when they play the characters so damn well you can't hardly remember their name. You don't even remember who it was. You're just like, wow, that was great.
McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy. Really like him.
And if you're going older, why couldn't you just keep using him?
Yeah. How many of these does she have?
I mean, I hope we're not going back in time and doing another reboot.
That's what Marvel does, man. Everything with Marvel's a reboot.
Our boy Ghost Pepper over there popping in on field. What's up, dude? He's at work.
They normally keep her ears covered up, but I'm going to take a liberty with this because I can. So I'm going to treat that as this cap. And then I'm thinking about having her have hair coming out from underneath it. Of course, she does also have a cape. So let's get rid of some of that. Bring the cape up here. There we go. Maybe I won't do the hair. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll just stick to the plan, stick to the original, not do the hair, because I like it once this stuff kicks up. Let's see. She's reminding me a little bit of the chick in the movie Legend. It's probably just the big collars. Big collars always remind me of that character. And then put a choker on her. There's that. And then she's got little ram horns for a bra, which is kind of cool. So let's go. 1, 2 times around. 1, 2 times around. Let's see here now. Alrighty. And let's give it a little bit of cloth right there. See, it's a straight up bodysuit. So we're going to go here and here, play with that a little bit. And then let's see here now. So I try not to turn things too much until I'm satisfied with my structure and underdrawing and everything, and then I'll start to spin it around a bit. So let's look at doing this belt. It's a dumb design for a belt because that would poke her in the stomach every time she bent over. I'm going to run this on through here. Good. It's got to come back. More S curves.
She looked like she made a He-Man's ass.
Or something. Let's see. All right, kind of gets that in place. Knock some of this underdrawing out of here and free up my view a bit. Nice armband. Armbands are handy because they help reinforce the structure of what you got going on. They give it some contour. And nice big gauntlet.
So, did you hear what we're doing Friday night, Les?
Nah.
Friday. Oh man, let me load this over real quick. You're gonna like this. Every now and then we go outside the box, right? We do a little something different.
So many bad jokes I can make it literally everything.
Every now and then we go outside the box. Yeah. Friday night Ryan is not doing Freewheeling Fridays, so I took the opportunity to extend an invitation to a friend to join us for a late night watch-along on Halloween night. We're going to watch John Carpenter's Vampires.
Oh, that's a good movie.
But we're going to be joined by the lead female vampire herself, Margene Holden. She's going to join us and watch it with us, dude. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah. You're talking about the blonde chick from that movie?
The chick in the look on your screen right now. The lead vampire, the queen vampire herself, Margene Holden, is going to be with us. We've talked to her before, but we haven't watched the movie with her before. This is going to be fun. We're going to watch the movie.
Oh, that's cool,
give her the pause button. I'm going to tell her, hey, anytime you want to stop and tell us what was going on behind the scenes now on this scene or that scene, you have the fucking con. We're gonna give her control, man. It's gonna be fun, guys. We're gonna watch the movie. We're gonna talk to her about stuff that happened behind the scenes during the filming, all kinds of cool stuff. Do not miss it. Stacy, this one's for you. What's up, Luke Stone? I ain't seen you in a decade, bro. Where you been? What's happening, my friend? Good to see you. Les, I don't know if you know Luke or not. Luke is the guy behind Fund My Comic.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I know the name.
Yeah,
I've heard of Luke.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Luke. Pop in a little more. I know you don't stream anymore because we do not see you. But that doesn't mean that you can't pop into the madness, let people know what you're doing, come out as a guest, and let people know what's going on, keep people up to date with Fund My Comic updates and stuff like that. We got a spot for you, bro, no matter what, no matter what. Even if it's just a segment on somebody's show, Luke comes out and tells what's up with Fund My Comic. I can make that happen. It's the fun part about being in charge.
Let's knock some more of this out of here. Doodly doo doo doo.
Really does not stream at all anymore. That's sad. I understand in cases why some people don't stream anymore. Because, man, it's hard to put yourself out there and deal with some of the crap that gets thrown back at you, And they're too busy running FMC. I totally get that too, because I'm busy as hell running the madness now that we're uploading stuff to Roku. I don't have near as much time as I used to have. I'm busy as hell. My right arm's all fucked up, so I'm trying to do everything one-handed. I totally get too busy. Oh, Les looking at me like, boy, I've been working one-handed for 5 years.
2 years.
That's my inspiration to not let being one-handed stop me from getting the job done. See?
Just
and that's
get
no
it done.
bullshit. And that's no bullshit either, you guys. That's just my inspiration to fucking power through anything. Because if anybody I know has powered through anything, well, I guess Luke, you'd probably be on that list too. Luke was on the ventilator during COVID.
Oof.
He's one of the few
rough.
people I know of that came back off that fucking thing. So, he's got stories too. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that stuff sucked.
And he is appreciating what you're doing. So.
Well, thank you. Let's see here now. As always, once I start really getting into the meat of a piece, that's when I start to go quiet.
Now, see, Luke just showing up just triggered another idea. Hey, Les.
Yeah.
Should we put the variant cover for the Ozzy book on Fund My Comic?
Sure.
As a storefront?
Yeah, sure. Do it. Stick that stuff out there, man.
I mean, can't get the artist or the con editions there, but it'd be cool to put the variant in the A cover. I have to think about that. Luke, if I do this, I'm gonna be talking to you. Yeah. Oh, now see, you're gonna make Les mad with this because he ain't got back to playing his guitar yet. But yeah, he was on the ventilator, Les. He was in a wheelchair, paralyzed arm, but he's back now playing guitar. Working at a nonprofit to help at-risk teens. That's very noble and honorable. Thank you. Drawing comics part-time and running FMC. Just a ton going on. I get you, bro. I get you. I'm working my ass off too. I got, the Ozzy book was not something that we planned on. Okay, anybody that knows me pretty much knows it. The first thing I ever thought we'd publish was a Crom book. Obviously, Crom's my dude. That always was the first thing I thought we'd ever publish. But sometimes, life throws you a curveball. You got to hit it out the park. Okay, I could have put the Ozzy book on the back burner and continued working on Crom. Or I could have just went for getting the Ozzy book done, which is what we did. We went to a bunch of artists, got a beautiful, beautiful book, man. Beautiful book to sell. And I'm really happy with it. Like you said, when life throws you a curveball, man, you either stand there and watch it go by, or you take your cut. I'm hoping we hit this one out of the park, man. You know, we get these extra, the con variant or the con edition and the variant covers and these other ones out here available. Yeah, I'm hoping we do good with that. It is a bunch of beautiful art, no doubt.
Mm-mm.
Oh, good sweat. So let's do like 5 pieces in the hospital. It's so you know. But I want to do one of these, and I'm going to do this too, and I want to do this too.
Yeah, that's one of the things I used to do in high school a lot. Was I was always, I mean, it's so dorky, but I was always doing drawings of musicians I liked.
Yeah,
I probably drew the guys from Kiss so many times it wasn't even funny.
those guys, that guy. Oh, rest in peace, Ace. I miss you, brother.
Yeah.
I drew Ace once. That's the only one. But you know, it's sad, man. And they're all coming out now and they're talking about how he was irreplaceable and this and that and the other. And it's like, well, you know, I believe that sentiment back in the Vinnie Vincent days when they came out with somebody and they had different makeup. But when they sold Ace's whole stick to Tommy, that irreplaceable stuff kind of didn't ring true anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Tommy should have had his own makeup and his own stick. They shouldn't have been trying to put him in Ace's shoes. And then come out now after Ace passed and say, oh, he was irreplaceable. Kind of hypocritical, Gene. Just saying.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yes.
I'm pretty forgiving of a lot of stuff like that because
just Gene piled on though. Gene had a pretty solid 5 years of being an idiot, starting with "fuck your freedom" over COVID, right?
Yeah, no, that was some stupid stuff from him. But
okay, so he now he's just. That's what I mean. It's like the last 5 years for him has kind of been one foot after another in his mouth. It's like, shut up, Gene, play music, you know, or whatever.
Well, and I like that used to be the opinion that he put out there. He's the guy who was always saying, you know, musicians should shut up and do their musicians and actors should shut up and just do their job, entertain us. We don't want to hear this crap from you and all that. But then I guess, you know, something came along that he got bent out of shape enough about, and he decided to change his tune. But you know, I mean, he's old. I mean,
well, I mean, look, one of my favorite concerts of all time was Roger Waters' Radio Chaos. It was a great tour. It was an amazing show. But I don't agree with dude's politics, you know. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. But he would, you know, I still went to see him play his music and do his thing because it was awesome, right? Now, yeah, he's put his foot in his mouth so many times. I'd probably pass on that too.
Yeah, there's some people who just prove themselves to be a turd in a punch bowl, and I just don't, you know, just not really. Can't get behind it. And then there's some who I'm really forgiving of. So it's, you know, it's a mixed bag. I tend to be forgiving of most things from Gene because frankly, Gene Simmons was a big influence on my life. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff I can get into about that, but you know, between Kiss and Star Wars were like when I was a kid, everything was about Kiss, comic books, and Star Wars.
Well, my music went a little farther out than Kiss, but Kiss was in there for sure. Okay, because I think I saw him in '75. Rush opened up for him, and we instantly became Rush fans. You see what I'm saying? We saw Rush live like in '75, the Fly By Night tour.
That would be the time to see Rush. I will tell you, man.
dude. Bytor and the Snow Dog live, dude. They blew it up, right? It was like, oh my god, who are these guys? And
As
you know
a
what I mean?
as a musician, I appreciate Rush, but I can't listen to him much.
You can't listen to Getty sing. I know.
I mean, well, Getty's voice just aggravates me. I'm just like seriously, you guys
It's like,
could have
how do you
got.
guys get to be so good with that guy as a frontman? I know, but musically, they're fucking amazing. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
those three dudes
so
put out.
I've
those-
never been a fan of Alex Lifeson on guitar. Just never. He never has impressed me at all. Not even a little bit. So, that's where I start to piss off the Rush people because I'm just like not a fan. I'm like, seriously, Rush existed in my mind. Rush existed as a vehicle for Neil Peart. Because
I don't think there's too many people out there that can do what Getty does. That dude's fucking
there's more than you might think, but musically, I think that Neil Peart made that band, and it's just Alex and Getty were lucky as hell they got Neil, because in just about any other scenario, they would have been completely ignored.
Well, I don't know. Working Man was on the first album with Rutsy.
See, I hate that song.
Yeah, but the rest of the world loved it. That was the whole.
Yeah,
I couldn't get it, right? I didn't think that was the best song on the album. I thought Here Again was the best song on the album, and nobody even knows. So it's like there was so much of their music that got buried too, because everything was, what can we fit in a 3-minute radio spot? They didn't make too much of that.
Well, that Working Man to me felt like the opposite of what they normally would do, where it's like, oh, we need one to go to radio. Here's one to go to radio, and let's.
That was a 7-minute song. It wasn't a radio. It wasn't written for radio.
Yeah, I guess.
Man. It was like, it's like it found its way to radio because people liked it. That was what was so weird about it. It's like it was the beginning of the album rock scene where they started coming out with radio stations that would play a whole side of an album because people like Zeppelin and Rush were giving you 8-minute, 9-minute, 10-minute songs that weren't getting airplay that were great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
Hibernation, you never heard that on the radio unless you were listening to an album rock station.
I think that song Working Man just always struck me as a little bit trite.
Well, yeah.
I was like,
and that was before Neil came along and started writing their lyrics too. That's another thing. I don't get it. I don't get why that song became so popular, because it just wasn't. It wasn't this, the best. It wasn't the best song on the album. I'm sorry. I'll piss Rush fans off with that too. But what can I tell you? Here Again is a better song. and Getty's fucking voice in Here Again fits the song. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's not the low tone nasal thing. It's the high pitched scream. The whole song. Okay, so it's like listening to Robert Plant. The high pitched scream. When he did that, it was better. When he tried to sing, it was harsh.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Geddy Lee. He's a great bass player. Great bass player. I'm like, hey dude, why don't you go play that bass for a while? Just leave singing up somebody else.
Coming out with the Moog and the foot pedals and everything. I mean,
that stuff's cool.
He was pretty innovative. A long time ago.
Yeah, that stuff was all cool. I'm just like, dude, just stop singing, please. You're terrible.
I think that's the only thing they did wrong, was not try to find a serious front man for the band.
Let's see here.
Because there were some great people back then that were floating between bands. People like Dio, people like that. Could you imagine Dio in front of Neil and fucking Geddy and Alex? That would have been awesome.
No, I could not imagine it because Dio was too much fun for them.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at like Bytor and the Snow Dog, and I think Dio would have been the perfect fucking vocalist for that too. You know, it's a battle between the good and evil. The guitars are battling. The voice needed to be better.
Something baller.
Yeah, I mean that's there's certain songs that you just think, wow, if that guy had sung it, that would be awesome. You know,
I can see that. Yeah.
Have you ever heard Zach's "Candle in the Wind"?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, does Elton John wish he could make that song sound that good?
Oh yeah. Sorry, Elton, it's not yours anymore.
I'm telling you, Zach fucking, I saw him do it live, bro, sitting at the piano, and I was, get the fuck out of here.
I've seen him do it a handful of times, and it's always good.
Oh my God, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's some people that are just better made to do certain songs, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That one blew me away though, because I was at Gibson's in Scottsdale, and that's the show where Becky said that thing about the French whore.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody smells like a French whore. Zach turned around and said, "Yeah, well, 20 minutes up on that stage, you're gonna be glad I smell like this."
That's fun.
Something to that effect is like, I smell like this now because I'm not gonna smell like this later. You know. Zach was a funny dude, man, and this is back in the 90s. He was still pretty young too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is Pride and Glory days. You know, where he's walking through the bar talking to people and shit. It was great, man. Yeah, dude was amazing. And when he sat down at the piano and started playing an Elton John tune, you know, right away he starts playing the song, and I'm like, what? And then when he started singing, it was like, oh.
Yep.
You know, like, oh my God, Elton. Just don't play this song anymore, Elton. You know?
Yep. It belongs to Zachy now.
Really good stuff. And great memories. Les used to work some security for Zach a few times. I worked at a radio station in Arizona and got to meet him a few times. Look, sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, Zach's a cool dude.
He sure is. There's no doubt about that. And we got to watch him grow up. That's the cool part.
He was easily my favorite guy that I ever met in the music business.
Yep.
Yeah.
I go with that.
Let's see here now.
Although I did have some fun now meeting some of these other people. Ain't gonna lie. When I met Ace gave me a lightning bolt necklace.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Took his necklace off and gave it to me, right? And I gave it to my son. Ace is cool as hell. He was a really nice guy.
I think a big reason I can be so forgiving to all of the guys in KISS is because of a friend of mine that I grew up with who's been in a wheelchair his whole life, and his family, he had a really great family though, and his older sister would take him to KISS shows when we were kids, and he was obsessive. He loved KISS, and he would follow them all over the place, and they were always super cool to the kids in the wheelchair rows. They always treated them really well. And when he got older and was able to drive, you know, a handicapped equipped car, he followed them one tour for like, I think he saw them like 5 nights in a row or some crap like that. And eventually, I think after about night 3 or 4, Bill Coin comes walking out to the wheelchair rows. He goes, "Hey, didn't I see you last night and the night before and the night before that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And the guy's like, "You know what, kid? Come with me." It takes him backstage. And apparently Gene, when he rolls in, Gene is like, "Hey, I saw you last night, the night before that." It's like, "Yeah, so how many shows in a row is this for you, kid?" And he's like, tells him. And they gave him a phone number for Bill Coin. And they're like, "You know what?" And he told him, he's like, "Yeah, I've been watching you guys my whole life and all this kind of stuff. And seen you so many times, it's crazy." And they gave him a phone number to call Bill Coin. And they're like, anytime you can make it out somewhere we're playing a show, you call Bill, we're going to hook you up. Yeah. And they always have. They've always taken care of my boy. And I love that. Just love that about them. So it's like, yeah, Gene could be a jackass. So can everybody else. But, they I think they appreciate people a lot more than they get credit for,
Well, I mean, come on, man. Making millions of dollars off people. You don't appreciate them. You kind of suck. You have to go out at some point and show your love for the people that have made you what you are, put you where you're at.
Yeah. I understand that. And that is why everybody who buys one of my books, I do my best to be as available as I can be and chat with them and talk and stuff. And it's not it's definitely not on the same level as being multi-millionaire rock star type stuff. But dude, it's like, if you buy one of my books, you just help to pay my rent that month. And that's not to be taken lightly. All right. I think I went a little slower on this one today. But I'm cool with that. Yeah, I usually like to wrap it up in an hour. But
but the last couple of weeks we've gone to 210, 208, 212.
Yeah. I can't really stick around for much longer today because I got a real tight production schedule that I need to make sure I stay on top of. I have so much stuff going on.
You've got your hour in. Jump, bro.
But I'll hold on to this, and maybe we'll pull this one up and ink it. Maybe it'll turn into a painting. Who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Because I love my Masters of the Universe stuff. I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff now of the new movie coming, and I think it looks like it's actually going to be good.
Cool.
Oh.
All right, and if you want to jump, I'm gonna go ahead and play a couple ads. And,
yeah. All right, man. Let's do it. Let's cut on out of here. You folks come back next week. We'll be here on Wednesdays, Comic Artist Hour. I'm Les, and we're out of here.
Peace, everybody.
In a world where sequels and prequels and derivative slop rule the TV and movie landscape, one magazine dares to make fun of them all. One mag to roast them all. One mag to troll them. One mag to break their balls. And in the ratings roll them.
cut!
When a child vanishes, the skeptical Officer Stone forms an uneasy alliance with paranormal investigators at the request of the only witness. Can the Night Slayers solve the mystery before midnight? Coming soon to Kickstarter, The Night Slayers. If you missed the live viewing of any Madness Entertainment Group production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. We'll see you next time on the Madness Entertainment Group.